Okay, welcome back my YouTubers. So, I hope you guys are looking forward to this video because this video is on proportional relationships, and it not only is going to be for homework, and that homework is going to be due on Wednesday night by midnight, but it's also going to help you guys for your quiz the next day on Thursday. So, here's what we have. We have a table, and on this table there's a number of minutes, and we're going to use the variable x to represent the number of minutes that you walk. And we're going to use the variable y to represent the number of feet that you've walked. Now, we need to figure out whether or not this is a relationship that's proportional. So, is the relationship proportional on this table? Well, there's a couple of different ways that you can find that out. You can find it out using your table, because we know the definition of proportions already. A proportion is two equal ratios or two equal fractions. So an equation where two ratios or two fractions are the same. So we can definitely use this table, but a lot of you guys have already learned this definition, that if we can graph a straight line and that straight line happens to pass through the origin, it's also going to be a proportional relationship. So we can see that this graph is proportional, and it's because this line passes through the origin 0, 0, and this line is also straight for the graph. But what if we didn't have this graph? We could use the table and still find out that this is a proportional relationship. See, we know that a proportional relationship is where two ratios or two fractions, because a ratio is a fraction, it's when they're the same. So let's make some fractions from our table here. Let's see here. We know that we've walked a total of 18 feet. So I'll set up my first fraction. So I'm going to put 18 feet here. And I'm going to go ahead and write 3 minutes here. I'm going to see that this is going to be a total of 18 feet divided by 3 minutes. Well, this is going to give me a total of 6 feet per minute. Well, if I can make another fraction according to this table, and that fraction is also equal to 6 feet per minute, well then the two fractions for the relationship here would be equal. And if we can make two equal ratios or fractions, we would know that this is a proportional relationship. So let's go ahead and let's figure out what 30 feet divided by 5 minutes would be. So I'll make my other fraction, and I'm going to go ahead and put 30 feet over a total of 5 minutes here. Well, if I go ahead and find out what this is, I'm going to go ahead and divide my 30 feet by my 5 minutes. And again, you can see 5 goes into 30, a total of 6 again with no remainder. And this again is going to be 6 feet per minute. Well, here's what we found out. Both of these fractions equal the same quantity, 6 feet per minute. It's probably not going to surprise you too much that if you divide 72 feet by 12 minutes, you'll also get 6 feet per minute. So here's what we've figured out. We figured out that these two ratios, these two, are the same quantity of 6 feet every minute. So because these two fractions, these two ratios are the same, we didn't actually need this graph. We could have figured out that this is a proportional relationship. Yes, this is definitely a proportional relationship because these two fractions are actually equal to each other. And here's how we can write that. We can write 30 feet divided by 5 minutes is equal to 18 feet divided by 3 minutes. Both of these are the same. And when two ratios are the same, we can figure out that yes, this is going to be a proportional relationship. If I wanted to, I could go ahead and show you 72 divided by 12 is also 6 feet per minute. So I can write another fraction here, and I could put 72 feet on the numerator and 12 minutes on the denominator. And yes, these two fractions are also equal to each other. So when you have a relationship where two fractions are equivalent, this is a proportional relationship. And you need to be able to tell whether this is a proportional relationship from graphs, but also from tables. So you have to be able to do it from more than just a graph. You have to be able to say, well, if I can divide 72 feet by 12 minutes, and I get the same answer as dividing 30 feet by 5 minutes, these two fractions give me the same quantity. Now this happens to be a very special quantity though. See, this is also the unit rate. And we've learned a couple of different meanings for the unit rate. The unit rate is a variable represented by a variable k, the constant of proportionality. And we can set up an equation. So let's take a look at our graph over here. On this graph, I went ahead and graphed a couple of key points for you. You can see that I graphed right here when x was equal to 3 minutes. You guys know that the feet, y number, the y number is equal to 18 feet. So if you go to your 0, 0, you go 1, 2, 3 minutes to the right, and then every time you move up, you're going up 6 feet. So you're going up 6, 12, 18. This is where x is equal to 3 minutes and y is equal to 18 feet. You can also see on your table when x was equal to 5 minutes, y was equal to it was equal to 30 feet. So I'll show you that on the graph. I start at 0, 0. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes to the right. Then every time I move up, I'm going up 6 again. So I'm going to stay right here on 5 minutes, and then I'm going to go up 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. If I match these 2 points up, or these two quantities up, it's on this point right here. And this right here is where x is equal to 5 minutes, and y is equal to 30 feet. But how am I supposed to find k, the constant of proportionality? Because you're going to have to do this for your quiz. Well, I actually can go ahead and look at one very important point on the graph. See, k happens to be a very special point. This right here, k, is the unit rate. So it's where the y number is when the x number equals 1. See, because that's what the word unit means, 1. So we go back to our graph and we go 1 minute to the right, and I look at where this point is. This point is where x is equal to 1 minute, and this y number is k. Well, whatever that y number is, that's the unit rate. That's k. Well, let's see where this point is. If I go 1 unit to the right, that's 1 minute. And then I go up, and it takes me to where this y number is 6. So this y number happens to be the number 6 right here. Whatever the y number is when x equals 1, this is your value of k. So I go ahead and I take my y number and I replace it for the variable k. This is my equation. Y equals 6 times x. And it works for any one of the points on the graph. Let's go ahead and use x is equal to 1. We can find out that 1 times 6, that's right, y is supposed to be equal to 6. Let's use another point for the table though. Let's pretend that this x number here happens to be the number 3 minutes. So I go ahead and I put in my 3 right here instead. And y is going to be equal to 6, okay, times 3 minutes. Well, that's going to be 18, isn't it? And it should be 18 feet when you walk 3 minutes. That's how you know your equation is correct. You can choose any one of the x numbers. Like if I put this number in 12 right here for 12 minutes. If I multiplied 6 feet every minute times 12 minutes, the y number should be equal to 6 times 12. And yeah, 6 times 12 would give me 72 feet. That's how I know my equation is correct. So this equation is supposed to be y equals 6 times x. So remember how to find this unit rate, k. You find k by going where x is equal to 1. Where x is equal to 1, whatever this y number is when x equals 1, that y number is k. It's the unit quantity. It's what k is supposed to be equal to. And that's how you guys can go ahead and use this information for your quiz on Thursday. And when you guys get into high school, you'll be using these graphs. They'll be called linear graphs when you guys get into 9th grade algebra in high school. Hopefully this is going to help you out. And don't forget, you're going to need this table and you're going to need this graph with this equation for not only your YouTube homework on Schoology, but you're also going to need it for your graph later on when you guys are going ahead and taking the quiz on Thursday. Take care, my YouTubers. I'll see you guys next time with Miss Kiabu. Bye-bye.